Hi,
My name's James McCauley.
I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Hello, I'm Speaker Jim Amann, and welcome to Then and Now. We have a wonderful guest here with us today, the former mayor of West Haven, Ed O'Brien. Ed was mayor from 2013 to 2017 in my next door neighbor town, Milford, West Haven, a beautiful shoreline town, and some really wonderful and beautiful people. The mayor did a great job in West Haven. A lot of people still believe he did a great job. Mayor, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to see you. But I guess I was getting to the next thing. Unfortunately, when you ran for a re-election last time, you did not have the success you were looking for. Maybe as the then part of this show, can you tell the people what happened and why you think now you can win this race?
Well, I think during the election, the last primary, people were complacent. You know, we were polling at 70%. I thought we did a great job. I think the people of West Haven thought we did a good job, and we were bringing in economic development, bringing in new revenues, and complacency played a big part. And I think people stayed home and did not get out and vote, and we probably didn't do as good a job getting the vote out. Since then, a lot of people have come up to me. The city now has a $30 million increase in our grant list. We're bringing another $1 million in tax revenue due to the projects that I did bring in. And it's stagnant right now, and I think people want to get back to that, get West Haven back on track to increasing revenues.
Well, you know, Mayor, that's why I'm very surprised at that, because being a neighbor in town, knowing West Haven pretty well, certainly not the politics as well as you do, but we did see progress. My nephew lives in West Haven, has a brand new baby, and just as we're very concerned about young families and growing up and affordability and staying in Connecticut, it did seem like West Haven was on the right track. So you did talk a little bit about economic development, some of the things you brought in. Why don't we elaborate a little bit more on that? What exactly did you do? How did you bring the interest of West Haven to where we are right now?
Well, I think the job of a mayor is to sell West Haven. It's to go out there into the world and say West Haven is a place you want to bring your business, you want to relocate your business. The Haven came to me. They were having discussions about moving to West Haven. I think they did have a few discussions with the former mayor, but I think he turned them away because there was a housing component. They tried to circle back to West Haven because they really liked the location. We took the housing component out, and they started building in West Haven. It's a $200 million high-end mall. It's going to bring 65 stores, 6 restaurants. There's an amphitheater, a walk along the harbor. So it's going to be a nice addition to West Haven, not only the shopping, but there's 1,200 jobs. Again, there's restaurants, things like that. So that's $200 million. They right now purchased 57 individual properties, and unfortunately, that's a blighted area right now. They're boarded up, but they're going to start their demolition pretty soon. And they say they're on track, and they will be building that project. Coupled with that, the Allentown area around University of New Haven, in that Allentown section. We talked to David Beckerman of Acorn Properties, and there's a development that's going to be around the green in Allentown. So one building, $25 million is built right now, an entire city block of retail and 3 stories of residential above it, and then there's 2 more buildings. And then Yale New Haven Health System is coming to Derby Avenue. And that's another huge project that's going to bring lots of jobs to West Haven and much needed tax revenue. So those are the major projects. There's many, many, many smaller.
Well, Mayor, that's what we saw. We saw all this momentum going that way. But just recently, I had been reading and following that the current administration is not giving you any credit for that. In fact, it seems that the current mayor is taking credit for all that. Can you clarify 100% to the taxpayers of West Haven and people watching the show whose ideas this was, where did it come from, and what the truth is?
Yes, the Yale property was 100% during my administration. All the Acorn property around UNH was 100% during my administration. The Haven Mall, they had very casual conversations with the former Mayor Picard. Again, he turned them away, from what I understand, what the developer has told me. So they circled back and we got that project going. When I took office, there was going to be a corporate headquarters on that site for Bilco. It was like one building, and we took that and spread it to a 25-acre property.
Well, that's outstanding. And, I being a former speaker and political person, it is difficult when you do plant seeds and see the seeds starting to grow with things that you accomplished, and then the momentum going forward. It is very important for people to understand their history of how you got from A to B to C. And it's good that you let people know or remind them that without you planting those seeds, without you watering it and taking care of it and growing it, it wouldn't happen. For others to take credit for other people's work is one of the things that really annoys me about politics, more annoying when it comes from the same party. The facts speak for themselves, Mayor. You've done a fantastic job over there, and I hope the people of West Haven give you another opportunity to continue that growth. Speaking of which, now there's a budget coming up in West Haven right now. The current administration is putting forward. Can you tell a little bit about what's your opinion of that at this point? How is it for the taxpayers, and do you think that it's the right direction for West Haven?
No, absolutely not. I spoke on the budget last night at the budget hearing. The Board of Ed numbers, for instance, if you look on page 1, she's given $2.6 million more to the Board of Ed. If you look at the Board of Ed budget, which is the part in the budget that nobody looks at, they're flat funded. It's a 0% increase. It's all over the place. There are pages in there that say they're getting a huge increase. There's pages that are saying there's a 0% increase, and there's pages in there saying they're getting a reduction. So it's all over the place. More importantly than that, they cut contingency by $1.9 million. When I was mayor, the plan was we came into a very bad situation, much worse than it is now. We were going to take care of the deficit through deficit bonding, and we had year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, and on. Year 4 was the year we were going to have a surplus, and those surpluses were going to be used to take care of things like our high health care costs, the other problems that the city has financially. What the current administration chose to do is take that contingency money and just eliminate it to make the budget fit. That's dangerous. We've had a motorcycle accident of a police officer that cost us lots of money. You get a hurricane, you get a blizzard, you get any kind of those emergencies that you're not really prepared for, and we don't have that money now to take care of those issues. So I think it's irresponsible, it's dangerous, and as a former mayor, you do have those problems. They come up every year.
People have to remember that our first mission as public servants is public safety.
Right.
And that is the utmost. Certainly everything else follows, but public safety has to be a top priority. And I know recently, actually you and I had a discussion about this a couple of months ago. I heard that some of the security officers were removed from the schools, and also that some of the police officers, the amount of police officers is getting to a low number, and could be, as far as public safety, not a good situation for West Haven.
Absolutely.
Elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. They removed the public safety officers from the police department, and that is a result of budget cuts. There's just not enough men to go around. Also, we have the 401k pension issue in West Haven.
Correct. So
we're losing a lot of police officers with that. They're coming to West Haven, becoming police officers, and then moving on to towns that have a pension system, or they're in the state plan or a better benefit than the 401k.
And people don't realize how much that hurts a town to invest in their officers, train their officers, just for them to go seek another place that's going to give them a better benefit of living. That's got to really irk you. But do you blame the officers at the same time?
I don't blame the officers, and I fought to keep that pension. I know it's not popular, but my father was a police officer, and I saw that they work 70 hours a week. They come home. They get hurt. He'd come home with black eyes, and it's a rough job being a police officer. They're out there in places that us, residents don't want to go. I think we were proven in the when we were doing the deliberations back versus pension versus 401k, that the 401k would be more costly to the city because it's based on the hours worked, where pension is based on a 40-hour work week. So
Right.
when you add in all those other things, it's more expensive.
Absolutely. Well, we're running down to our first part of the show here, and I want to thank the mayor again for being here. But more importantly, public safety is a priority. When I was an alderman in town, I didn't care what we paid our firefighters as long as they were the best trained that were going to come to my house. We're going to be back in a few seconds, and we'll see you soon from then and now.
Hi, my name is Tyreek Marquez. I am a member of Hartford Communities That Care Youth Leadership. For the past 27 weeks, we have been examining the intersection between education, poverty, violence, and trauma in Hartford. I have learned a great deal based on research we have done, but I would like to tell a personal story. On August 27th, 2008, I attended a parade in the north end of Hartford when bullets began to fly and one person was killed. 6 people were injured, including myself. I was 7 years old and I was shot in my head, leaving me with partial paralysis, something I still live with every day. I struggle, but I overcome, and I am no different from any other teenage boy. This is why I do things in my community, such as awareness events with my mom and the Victims Against Violence group. I also do things with HCTC because we want to see change. Thank you for taking the time to hear my story.
Well, welcome back to Then and Now. I'm Speaker Jim Amann with one of the best, if not the best, mayor of West Haven, Ed O'Brien, who is seeking to run for re-election for the, actually to get his job back as mayor in West Haven, Ed O'Brien. Ed, again, good to see you. Had a nice, lively discussion of first part of the show. Mayor, I think I'd like to talk about MARB, and I think a lot of people are like, what is that? And what's your willingness to work with them, and why you think the current administration don't want to work with them for whatever their reasons are. Can you explain that, and explain what MARB is for the listening audience?
Yes, MARB is a municipal review board.
Say it one more time.
Municipal Accountability Review Board.
Try to say that 5 times fast.
Try to say that 5 times fast. It's a board that was put together by the state of Connecticut to help struggling communities. West Haven has been struggling for decades. We actually, contrary to people's belief, lobby to get in that program because it comes with financial advice. It comes with financial experts that'll help you. It comes with revenue to help get you through into the next phase of rebuilding West Haven. What it doesn't come with is their control of the city. It's review, advise. There's strings attached to the money that was changed after the legislation, after my time as mayor. But when I signed on, it was just a review and comment on budgets, things like that. No actual running of the city, which to this day they're not running the city. They look at the budget that you presented last night, make comments on it, make recommendations on it, and then you go from there. I thought it made sense to work with them in their capacity of the financial experts. I mean, why wouldn't you take every expert advice and every, you want all eyes looking at the problem to come up with a solution. Not one person, not the mayor of West Haven, the finance director of West Haven, not one person can have all the answers. So that was my feelings on them coming in. I welcome them. I will work with them. I've worked with MFAC, that was the board that was there before them. So I don't think it's a bad thing for West Haven. I think it's good.
Right. I mean, having experts that at least guide you or give you information is always a positive thing. But currently, is there some rumors or saying, well, the mayor wanted to go to that because he's the one that got us in this current state, and of course he's looking for help to be bailed out.
No.
I've heard that from people, and I said, please do some research, know what the facts are.
Right.
So
And-
can we get the facts on the table and what the truth is?
The facts are verifiable.
Correct.
If anybody wants to look, there's a review board that came in back in '91. They took over the city. That was
I think
not
you need
good.
to say that 1991.
1991.
Correct.
This board is nothing like that board.
Correct.
This is a board that supplements all our financial people in West Haven to help get through the process of the financial problems that we're in and fix the problems. Again, we had year 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my budget in a multi-year plan. Year 4, there was going to be a surplus. Nancy, and there was going to be $8 million from the state. Nancy, the current mayor, said that I was not telling the truth. There was not going to be $8 million from the state. I was irresponsible putting that in. There was going to be no surplus, and we were in financial dire straits. Well, she was in 6 months. They just audited my final budget. There's a surplus. The $8 million came from the state. There's $8 million coming this year from the state. Both those $8 million, that $16 million total, was negotiated by me. It's kind of coincidental that I said there's going to be $8 million. She says I was lying, and all of a sudden $8 million popped up during her administration.
And also now she's taking credit for that.
Now she's taking credit
There's
for
a
it.
surplus, and
There's
it
a
was
surplus,
because
right.
of what she is.
Right. The surplus is a direct result of our economic development. There's increases in the grand list. The $8 million help from the state, which is not a permanent fix, but it's a multi-year fix, and it's to bridge the revenue while we get all these economic developments online. What the problem is from the time I was out of office, there's nothing in the pipeline. You have to keep that economic development churning.
Right.
You have to bring more development in for more revenue.
Well, talking about that, I'm kind of divert back a little bit on development. Isn't there also an area in West Haven where there was a current fire, and what happened there? Was it set on purpose? Was there a problem? Is it boarded up now? Is it being taken care of?
Yep, that's boarded
Is
up.
there any-
That's part of that Haven, that mall project
why
that
don't
I was
you talk
talking about.
more about that too, and where exactly we are right now. Because again, the facts seem to get a little foggy of exactly what's occurring over there.
Right.
On that particular fire.
That's the Haven, the mall property, and they are boarded up. And there was two fires there actually. I think they're under investigation now, so I don't want to comment. And I think that would be irresponsible of what the reasons were. But I think a lot of people think it was loitering and arson. But yeah, they should start the demolition of that property soon. I've said time and time again they're going to start give a date, and it doesn't start. So I think they're wrapping up the final approvals from the state, and then they'll be raising those buildings and have that project be built.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth. It seems a little odd, and I am not a conspiracy theory kind of guy. In fact, I can't stand some of that stuff. But it does seem odd to me that Shakespeare burns down in Stratford. Silver Sands project has 2 fires within a week, burning down a $10 million facility that was just built. West Haven's had these fires. Again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it just seems very coincidental that these properties that were either vacant or being built have had these calamities. So,
Right.
Okay, all you out there on Twitter, you call me crazy or whatever, but I'm wondering if there's a link. If not, I'm hoping that the police and the state can kind of verify exactly what's going on with these, because it's a little it bothers me. Mm-hmm. Shakespeare's gone, $9 million taxpayers' money gone, and then this project over there in West Haven. So, anyways, I'll get back to why we're here. Let's talk about what growing up West Haven was. I could not wait as a kid to go to Seven Rock and with my parents, and the Jimmy's hot dogs. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
West Haven, the beach, fabulous place. Very similar to Milford, but then had their differences a little bit. But just another sister city, whatever you want to call it. Those were some of the best memories of my life. So let's talk about that. Everything seems to be doom and gloom. Everything seems, right now. And then on top of it, now you cut festivals and those sort of things. Tell me, as mayor, which you did very well, what you'll do is one of the first things when you become mayor again.
Well, first thing, I'll bring back those festivals because more than just having a festival and a party, it brings in residents to West Haven. It brings in revenue to West Haven. Those people go to our restaurants, our shops, and it just highlights what a great town it is. It also raises property values having cultural events and festivals and concerts. A lot of that was cut, I think, politically to make the prior administration look bad because of finances. The fact of the matter is, a lot of that was privately fundraised. There were some costs for police and public works, but those are in the budgets. That was approved by the city council. There has to be a cost to it, but the majority of that was fundraised through our local universities, our businesses.
Yeah.
And the first thing I'll do is I'll bring that back. We had a Savin Rock Festival attended by thousands of people.
Yes.
I had the first ever Hispanic festival.
Nice.
The first one that only made it out of the gate one time, brought lots of people.
Yeah.
So there was an awful lot.
West Haven's a perfect place. I mean, we have a boardwalk. You have a beautiful boardwalk on the waterfront. You have beautiful beaches. People work hard. Everybody knows you have to pay taxes. But when you're paying a lot of taxes and receiving nothing back as far as, I can't even go listen to a band. I can't go down the beach, which I know happened too. What happened at the time with the beach with the bathrooms? Can you tell me that? Because I'll tell you, I went down there and I was pretty disappointed.
Right.
You can't even go down there because they had sewage all over. Is that correct?
That was when, there's sewage all over. Yeah, that was when she cut staff, and she cut those kind of staffs, the people that took care of and unlocked the bathrooms, maintained the bathrooms. And there was a lot of sewage, a lot of trash. It was a nightmare. It was absolutely, the few people that were coming into West Haven, that's what they were seeing, garbage and sewage all over the
I
place.
heard about it. I mean, they were disgusted because, it's not just West Haven people that walk that beautiful boardwalk that you have down there and the waterfront. People from all over do, and it is disappointing.
It is. We have a beautiful shoreline.
So priorities are police and security and parks. Those are the things people want to see that their tax dollars doing well. And I know, Mayor, you're going to do a great job when you come back. We're just about at the end of our second segment here, and with Mayor O'Brien on Then and Now. And I have to tell you that me too. I enjoy being able to go places and enjoy my tax dollars being put to good use. We'll be back in just a few. Welcome back to Then and Now. I'm Speaker Jim Amann with my guest Mayor Ed O'Brien from West Haven. Ed, this seems to be the fastest half hour on TV. It's going by very quickly, and that's because there's a lot of interesting issues going on in West Haven. One of them, obviously, that's close to my heart is veteran issues, and having the Veterans Hospital in West Haven. Can you talk a little bit about your reputation with the veterans and what you've done for them? And
Yep, we have a great relationship with the VA. My whole time I was in office, we've many meetings and a lot of collaboration with the Veterans Hospital. But in West Haven, while I was in, I enjoyed a very good relationship with our vets. I put the first ever Veterans Board together. We have Councilman Ronan was on that, who was a decorated veteran. We tried to do veteran housing at Thompson School site. It was a site that we were going to develop privately, no city dollars, and it was going to be for senior citizens and veterans. That unfortunately didn't go through, but veterans housing is something that I've worked very much on in West Haven during my term. Listen, I think we owe the veterans everything. I mean, I couldn't do what I did. You couldn't do what you did if it wasn't for those veterans having that freedom. One of my best friends, he's been in the military 20 years. He missed the birth of his daughter. He was gone a long time in his childhood, when his children were young. So they give up an awful lot for our freedoms, and I think we owe them everything.
No, I totally agree with you. And obviously, housing issues are big with the veterans. Mental health issues and those sort of things, and helping with the housing is definitely a top priority. So, the one that didn't go through, what exactly happened? Do you think there might be something to try again? You said something you were working for.
Yeah, that was a public-private partnership of an old Thompson school and a school that we don't use anymore in West Haven, and we had a private company was going to come in and rehab it for senior housing and veteran housing.
Excellent.
So that I thought was a good project. It would have brought also. It was a revenue-generating project also.
And what happened? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I think I don't know if you're going to like this answer, but with that there was some state grants, and the state grants didn't get approved. So the developer couldn't move forward.
Well, you were mayor in 2013. So
I wasn't there.
It wasn't what happened with me. So.
Right? No.
Well, that's unfortunate, but
yeah,
those things do happen.
Well, you win some, you have to try again.
You're darn right. And hopefully, if you have the opportunity, we think you might try something like that again.
I would absolutely try that again.
Awesome.
I think that's the future, public-private partnerships.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm a little surprised at our governor. I guess I shouldn't be. He's really pushing that hard. And as a Democratic governor, that's not usually something that a Democratic governor does. So, maybe the opportunity comes again that you are able to be the mayor again, working with our current administration might be helpful, because that's what he wants to push to, public-private. So that's very interesting. Let's talk about the minority population in West Haven, Latinos and African Americans. You've reached out to those communities. I can tell from being with you for a short period of time that they like you and they trust you. And I think it's important that we understand that the old Milfords, the old West Havens are not just Italian, Irish anymore, that it's a diverse culture. So why don't you elaborate a little bit more on that issue? Right.
I've reached out to an awful lot of the minority population in West Haven. It's a growing population. I had the first African American chief of staff in my office. The clerk of the council was, an African American during my term when I was on the council. I think it's important for them to have representation. Listen, we represent the residents of the city of West Haven, and it's not made up of all Irish and Italian.
Exactly.
There's all kinds out there. Turkish population in West Haven is the fastest growing population in the state, right, in West Haven.
That's amazing.
It is so.
Yeah, I heard that before, but that surprised me.
Yeah, so I put together a team of my team is well-rounded.
Yeah. So. Well, Turkey, why do you think it's like one family came here and liked it, and then they talked to other folks to come from their areas to come here? How do you think that happened? That's such a growing
I think
population.
when they first started immigrating on a larger scale, their cultural center was in West Haven.
Yeah.
And I think that's what drew them to West Haven.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
And now it's the largest in the state of Connecticut.
That's pretty amazing. And
and
I think we will all become a lot stronger as a nation, better as a nation when we understand one another, the cultures that they came from, and how we meld into the great American society that we've been so blessed with.
And the team,
your ancestors have, mine have, and I just think it's just strengthens us and makes us a better country. So.
Right, and my slate has all. My slate when it's announced, we have Latinos, we have African Americans. I mean, old, young. We have every segment of West Haven represented on my slate, and that's what it's about, really.
I really enjoyed. You did a radio show recently, Hispanic radio, and it was great because obviously they were talking Spanish and interpreting what you were saying, and I just think that's beautiful for a community, because we all assume that everybody speaks English, but they don't, and it gets me a little aggravated once in a while, and when I hear people, she learned the language. Well, Grandma's 60, 70 years old. we had Italians, Italians, Polish people that came here. They didn't speak English either, so
Right.
that's
I have a great grandfather
Exactly.
who never spoke English, but I got along with him great.
Exactly. So it's good that we're trying to reach out and say that West Haven is bigger, better community that way. We're getting towards the end of the show, Mayor. Tell me a little bit about, again, why you want to be mayor again, and what your vision is for West Haven in the future. That's
Right.
the now part of the show, and I should say then, now,
Now,
and future. Huh?
right. I want to be mayor again because when I was running my jewelry business in the center of West Haven, I thought things could be done better. I thought West Haven, it is a great place, but it could be so much greater. So I ran. And I thought that we were really seeing that vision of economic development, putting tax dollars on commercial businesses, not so much on the residents. We could help the residents in our high taxes. I hear too we're the highest tax in the state, and the only way to lower that is to generate the revenue somewhere else. And I think that's through a commercial base. In 25 years,
You need to say that again. Through a commercial base, not in raising taxes, correct?
right? You need to
Yeah,
right
exactly.
through a commercial base. You have to
Absolutely.
offset the money that the taxpayer, the homeowner, and residential taxpayer is paying.
Correct.
You have to offset it.
Correct.
You have to raise so much money, and you have to get it from somewhere. So
Right.
I don't believe that. There's only two ways: cutting expenses, which we've done a great job, and taxes. There's a third way: increasing revenues.
Correct.
And that's what we need to get down
Attracting
to.
businesses, getting
Right.
out there, like you said, rolling up your sleeves and
right.
recruiting.
Right.
And being the best cheerleader for West Haven.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, you've done a great job with that, Mayor, and I'm hoping that the citizens of West Haven will give you another opportunity to do that. But I apologize. I did forget about your jewelry business, and being a businessman, you understood how it was to meet payroll and have a business and budgets. Talk a little bit about your business and how that made you a better mayor also.
Well, I think running a business, you know what it's like to pay all those taxes. You know what it's like to do all the regulation with the state and work with the state. You know how to do a budget. You know how to stick to a budget. I think I gained a lot coming from the business community. Currently, the current mayor is a CPA, which is also great. But there's another side. It's not all just numbers. There's another side to it. So running a business, I gained a lot.
Well, that's terrific. Any last words you'd like to send out to the voters?
Just that I am running. I did announce last week I'm running for mayor, and I'm looking forward to everybody's support. And feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm accessible, and we'll answer any question.
Great. And is there as far as the people of West Haven, I think it's important also that you let them know that as of right now, you are the only candidate in the race.
I am the only announced candidate in the race.
Right. And that's very, very, very interesting.
Yep.
So please reach out to Mayor O'Brien. We're going to have his Facebook page up on this show. Please get a hold of him. Let him know what you're thinking. Be positive. How we can make West Haven a better city, because everybody's in it together in West Haven, and you want a great town. Be productive, not be critics. It's easy to be a critic. It's harder to be one that's trying to help things get better. Again, I love talking to Mayor O'Brien. I think he'll be an outstanding mayor. He was a great mayor. He'll do a great job again, and I think the city of West Haven will be better off. He owned a jewelry business, and West Haven has been the diamond in the rough. He's going to make it shine again. Thanks for coming into Then and Now.